Hello, everyone. This is Jill here to give the Purdue versus Michigan State post-game recap. Final score being Purdue 74, Michigan State 76. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'll try and flex the muscle again to remember how this goes. But and I will try to make this one brief because I think this one particular game confused me as far as like what went wrong. But from a stat perspective, things looked good for Purdue. 49% from field, 48% from three. We made 12 three-pointers, 25 rebounds, 23 assists, 8 turnovers, 30 points in the paint. And, as far as like other stats go, I think like the team in general looked like they had a decent game, like from those numbers. Problem was Michigan State just had a better game. So I think from shooting, it was harder to tell. They did have 53% from field, and they attempted 16 free throws. We attempted 9, so they were really able to draw fouls while they were shooting, which just was just very advantageous for them. And then I would say the biggest thing too is they had 4 turnovers, and then over our 8 turnovers, they had 19 points. So that is a significant number, and really what like changed the game and what gave them so many opportunities. I would also say that points in the paint was a really big difference. They had 42 points in the paint to our 30. So they were really able to drive to the basket. They were able to do some quick passes while the paint was kind of like in limbo, and they were able to take advantage of transition movements to get themselves a score. Most people are saying it on like Twitter and online that Michigan State was the team that was like came to play and was fighting a lot harder than Purdue, and I do think that's right, which is just surprising to me. I think this team is made up of players that have a ton of grit and passion. So to see them fall short in games that I think that they have the capacity to win is a little sad, and like as a fan, and maybe a bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, season's very long, and these kind of games just have to be played by the players. And you know as fans, what we can do is just break down and see what happened and see what we can maybe improve on for the next game. And really, I think for Purdue, it wasn't like there was anything super glaring to me, but I think it was just like death by a thousand cuts, just small errors that came at very inopportune times that shifted the momentum, made it a back and forth game, couldn't get runs, couldn't get stops. And in this era of college basketball, I think there's too many great players that are around a number of different teams, and they're staying for longer, which is then just making this game a lot harder for you to make mistakes. So that's just kind of what it came down to. And so I think that's just been like the big issue that Purdue has faced this season is not only they are a great team, I don't doubt that for a second, but they are facing great teams as well who understand that the margin of error for these games is very small, and they're able to focus, capitalize on big moments, and they're not afraid to execute a game plan or to make a big shot in an arena that is like a hostile environment. So, we are facing very good teams, we're facing very good players, very good coaches, and, I think there's what we thought was like maybe at the beginning of the season, a huge disparity between us and others, I think has just come to show that the playing field is just a lot different than what we were, I guess, expecting. But I won't let a loss overlook the players and the good things that they did, because I do think that some players had some great games. Braden Smith had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. So, I think he really did just like came out with a really excited interest or passion to pass the ball and find open players. And I think he found some really great looks, especially in the first half. I think he had 7 assists in the first half alone. So that was incredible. And he also surpassed 1,000 career assists. So he's only one of 5 players to ever do that. So really kudos to him. I think he's been really trying his best to impact the basketball game no matter what he's doing, whether it's passing or shooting. I think this game in particular, he focused on his passing. So that was, great to see just him hopefully reach a goal that he had for that game. Jack Benner had 11 points. He was 3 of 5 from 3. So I think he's kind of been struggling from the 3-point line, and finding open shots for him was really great, because I think as a role player, that's what you want. You want to hit some open threes to then spread the court out and give, your old senior players opportunities to score. I think he really did execute on that, and that was great just for him to have a good game and, really have our bench contribute the way that they did. This was another game where every player that went into the game scored, so super great to see that. And it looks like all players at least had 5 points or more. So not often you see that, so I think that's really great that they're able to just try and find ways to impact the game and make plays when they can. And even if it is a loss, I think what we see is just their ability to contribute and pass and find open players to make plays. Chekhov and Ren, love his style of play personally, and he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. So he was really, taking advantage of the double team that he would get down low and find an open player to pass so that they can shoot. And there were just some really great plays that he had kind of while he was dealing with a bit of bully ball down low. So that was really great for him just to have an opportunity there. And then Oscar Clough really started off red hot, 10 points. He was like perfect from field until some announcer said that he was perfect from field. But he did great in the first half, just really getting in the paint and finding some, good bucket shots right there. Great for him there. And good to see him very active, just kind of on the court and stuff. As far as takeaways from this game, I think it is, like, as a fan, I'm sad. I don't like seeing the team lose and whatnot, but, there's only so many games that we have left. And I'm a little upset too that, like, the senior class, they're going to have a bit of their legacy tarnished just by the record they have at Mackey Arena, because I think we were so fortunate this year to have some of our toughest games in Mackey, and we just weren't really able to execute on that. So it's been a little sad to see. These things happen. As like a fan of these players, my hope is always that they are able to have great games in their home court, because there's only so many that they have left, and now they only have one. So really, I just hope that they can capitalize and just have a great senior night. But also, there's 2 other games that they have to play, and one of them is Purdue versus Ohio State on Sunday, March 1st at 12:30 Central. So that's the next one that's up. Going to be a pretty big game. Ohio State is certainly not one to sleep on. Biggest thing moving forward is, just hoping that these players that have given us so many memories can find a way to meet their goals, whatever they are, and to just end the season as successful as they can, because I think, they are just great players. They deserve whatever, like, accolades they're trying to achieve. They just have to, like, focus in and, work toward it. And I think if anyone's, like, watched interviews or highlight reels, things like that, I think we can at least say that all these players have given a lot of, their time and effort to being the best that they can be. So hopefully that they can peak at the right time, because I personally believe that we haven't quite peaked yet. And I'm hoping that they can provide an opportunity to show us what that looks like, because we are running out of games for that to happen. But I also think that we are understanding what we have to do and what it would take to win a lot of games. So, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to try not to dwell on it too much, try not to scroll a little too much this evening, but this was very interesting game to kind of digest and think about, because a lot happened in like 40 minutes. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see if I make more. I always seem to be a little too late on uploading these, but anyway, thank you for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.